Morning all, welcome back to the channel. It took a little bit of thinking, but I think this is WALOB episode 48, and this is going to be part 7 of the manual swap series. Today's going to be the last full day that me and Harvey can both work on the car. I'm also hoping that we're going to get the welding done as well. We have got some time coming up in a week or so to get everything wrapped up, but we kind of took the executive decision to not be rushing things because that's where things go wrong. So everything's going really well, as you've seen so far. I'm hopefully going to go and pick up the version 2 shifter linkage. Just we did a little bit of refinement, and if you remember from yesterday's video, we moved it back. I have got a little bit behind on the editing, so I'll play catch up. I've got, at this point in time, I've got Mondays ready to render. Still got to do the dump and edit yesterday's, and then I'll be doing this at some point as well. So yeah, I'm planning full day today with Harvey. Got some other lads coming in to work on the cater room as well. And then I've got a couple of hours that I can be here tomorrow, and then I might come in for a couple of hours on Friday as well, but certainly not full days like we have been doing. Everything's going really well though, so I'm super proud of what we've managed to do, because it was a big old task. I will fire over to the whiteboard just to give a bit of a lowdown on all the other bits and when I'm thinking that we'll actually get to do them now. So, I'll show you that in a sec, but I've got the clutch line. It is fit as fuck. Thank you, Grant at GBE, for that. I'll show you that in a sec. That's really nice. One thing that wasn't on the board, which should have been, is the Stagea line. Too many S's. I went to the hydraulic shop last night on the way home. I've got a couple of fittings to test. So yeah, thank you Pearson Hydraulics. They just lent me those bits so that we could test those. I'm also going to put in the rear prop just to look at clearancing as well, because obviously that kind of all interacts quite near each other. And I don't want to get a line which is going to be too short and not have enough clearance, etc. So first things that I'm going to do today, I think, is going to be get in the clutch line and test fit these lot, then pick up the handbrake and stuff. I'll wander over to the other building and see who's about, see what time Joe's thinking he might be able to do the welding. Harvey should be here about 9, so better make some coffee. And then, yeah, like I said, might be dipping back and forth onto the cater room as well. We've got a few bits that, when we are welding, we can, if the box isn't needed there, we can take that out and start cleaning it and do the diff. Probably not going to do the diff like this week. We'll do that in a couple of weeks when we come back. We might not even get to the flywheel and that this week now, but that's no biggie. If I can get everything else absolutely nailed, because like we have got the handbrake nailed, we have got the pedals nailed, we can get the clutch line in. Shifter gator, I showed you what we're going to do with that, so we'll do that next time the box goes in, and then we'll mark it out from below. It's going to be easier to drill from underneath and up than it is from down, from up to down, but then we will put in some riv nuts from above to hold that in place. So yeah, all going really well. Thank you everyone for watching so far, and big up Harvey as well, Justin or J-Elly, the lads, Oscar and Fred as well, who are busy doing some hand skills practice making the shifter forks. So yeah, thank you everyone that's helped. Tom Senior as well, Rhys for putting up with us in the workshop, because this is really his space and we've totally taken over it. But the floor is looking good. We had a good tidy up yesterday just to make it a bit more of a pleasant place to work while we kind of gathered our thoughts between big jobs and that. So I'm going to crack on, get the coffee ready, and hopefully have a great day, and I hope you do too. So here's the sexy clutch line. Thank you, Grant GBE Enterprise. I will put a link down below to his website. He's hooked me up lots and helped over the years with the ECU, and I've done lots of work for him as well, building cars and harnesses and stuff. These are the fittings which I'm hoping are going to work with the Stagea stuff. we essentially need to make a male-female extender. So this looked like it would work. I took the other plate with me from the auto box, and I just need to test fit this on the hose, which is already in there. So yeah, thank you Pearson Hydraulics, and then I'm going to go back there tomorrow morning and hopefully they can make me up the hose. So yeah, going to get it in the air now, have a quick look at these bits first, then start routing this, and then go from there. So failed already. This doesn't seat at all. This is like a giant brake line almost. So I wonder how far back that goes. Where does the rubber? So that just goes into there. Interesting. I might take that back and see how that hard line fits in here, because maybe we're trying to extend it in the wrong point. And they think we could just kind of put in a coupler, maybe move that to there and then put in a coupler. So I'll expose that a bit more. That's not a bad idea as another option, because that definitely doesn't fit. And that feels like hard line. Then that will sweep that over nicer then, and just do a coupler perhaps for this stuff. So yeah, I'm going to measure that up. That does sound good actually. I like that. Sorry, I'm just kind of thinking aloud and talking myself into this plan. So yeah, that does sound good. All is not lost, provided I can get this out of there okay. So yeah, that's it without the heat wrap out. And I think it'd be really good to keep that there to flick it back in. So I will get lots of pictures of this. If we can disconnect it, maybe we will. Yeah, it looks like a good bit there. I think I'll do that, and then they can extend it and maybe crimp it in situ tomorrow when I get in there, because I'll be going there in the morning before coming in here. But yeah, that fitting they gave me isn't going to work, but I reckon we can cut and move that along. Okay, the hose is all off, ready to take to Pearson's in the morning. Here's it's actually come from an R34. Look how close we are. So I think really it needs about an inch taking out, if that, which is frustrating. But this is the first time I've kind of got it properly in. So I'm going to try and get it as seated as I can and get some measurements. Yeah, so close. I did get a lead on where to take that though, so hopefully I can get that ball rolling next week. And then we'll have the drive shaft ready for when we come back in a couple of weeks' time. Okay, so I've been doing little bits, just measure the drive shaft and things like that. Put a couple of bolts through just to stabilise these inserts, hoping that we're going to be able to use this one. We did get this one bored out as well though, just in case. If we're that little bit lower, it will make the plastic and clearances and stuff that much better. Was trying to do 2 pins. I was going to do a bolt through from each side. The drill bit snapped in there, so that's actually quite sturdy. So that's all good. We've got inscriptions from the people who made it. So that's TSR, that's Tom Senior, and on this side we've also got J-Elly as well, because they're the guys who machined this all for me. So big thanks to them. Just about to offer this up. Going to drill and put provisions in for some lock wire or split pins and stuff, just because I don't need this undoing on itself while I'm driving. So about to go back and do the next round of test fitting. Drilled a hole there for either a split pin or some safety wire, probably some safety wire. I'm just going to trim that edge off there because we don't need that to be any longer than that is now. Once I've done that and got this end in, I'll do similar, probably with a smaller hole though, just because I can't get a 3mm in that size nut. And then once we're happy with the length, I'll do similar through the sides as well. We've noticed there is quite a bit of play in this part and also in this part, so it might be that once we know the exact lengths, we get a new piece made up which is just an all-in-one bit without any adjustment. Because really the adjustment is just to get it right the first time, and then after that we shouldn't need to ever adjust it. So. Right, back from lunch, just got this in. Obviously I put the safety holes in so nothing can fall apart on me. Pretty pleased with that. I've got first, second, third, fourth, fifth and reverse. So really pleased with that. That all seems really sturdy on 2 bolts. Don't worry, I'm not going to keep it like that. I will put in a new plate which extends it, but not today. So yeah, chuffed with that. Going to get the plastics on, just see how that looks like. There is a little bit of play in there. We might look to revisit that centre hole, maybe bring this out to an M12, but for the moment that's okay. Yeah, I'm going to get the plastics on, get the cover on, and then I might just drill these quickly, just so that they are pinned and cannot rotate anymore. The lock nuts do work, but there's just a fear that they might come undone at some point. So, but that's the best it's felt so far. So really pleased with that. Absolutely stoked. Boop, boop. And then that's it in with all the plastics. So really pleased. Everything's working good. It is catching this a little bit, so it might be that I just clearance the bottom of the gator, or the boot, whatever you want to call it. Fifth, reverse, third, fourth, second, first. Happy fucking days. And here is the finished article. So drilled and pinned that with some M5s. We've obviously drilled and safety pinned the bolts which go through. I'm going to leave this off for the time being because the gearbox is going to have to come out pretty soon. Going to have a little tidy up because I made a mess again, and then make a start on putting in the clutch line, which I said I'd do first thing, but been distracted all day. Coolio, got the clutch line in. Still got to tie it in. Deliberately went a little bit longer. This is 1.8 meters, mainly because I'm thinking I'll put in a clutch delay valve at some point in the future, so I wanted a bit more room to play with. But this all routes quite nicely, so thanks again to Grant for that one. Really appreciate that, mate. Thank you. And the pink really pops, so I think that's cool too. So there's a couple of like PCV lines and stuff which are here, and I wanted to follow those coming down, so I'll probably tie that in somewhere along there like that, and then that routes up nicely at the top, avoiding the heat shield and all the hot stuff. So that's all good. It's about 25 to 4. Don't think we're going to do anything else major now, so we'll have a bit of a tidy up. Might close the video. I might just bundle this one together with tomorrow's, because tomorrow's going to be a short day and I don't feel like I've achieved all that much today, so I will see you when I see you. Okay, just done the routing for the top. Had this hole here already, seems quite a nice one to use. Looped it down there, and then I'm going to follow the PCV lines to get to the slave. Gas ECU goes here, so that should all fit quite nicely, I think. And we've got the GBE logo on view as well, so even better. Thanks. Good morning, welcome back to the channel. We're still on episode 48, part 7. It's now Friday. I was going to come in yesterday for a couple of hours, but it didn't really work out with other things I had planned, so come in this morning, to do the morning, have a bit of a tidy up. This is kind of where we've got to now in terms of the project progress. There's lots of things still to do, but I think we've done all the hard stuff. Once the welding's done, then we can move on and do the rest of it, because Harvey and I got to the point where that wasn't worth moving on to the next step without that being done. So I've put a few other bits on the to-do list, so I'll show you that now. I'm going to have a bit of a workshop tidy, scoop up some parts which are Gonna wave if you're gonna walk in frame. I've also got the boy in with me today. So yeah, gonna tidy up, take home some parts which are gonna be up for sale. I'm listing everything on the UK Facebook page, and if you look in the description for the channel, you'll see a link to that. So if you need any auto related parts, that's where they're gonna be. There'll also be another gearbox up for sale. This one which I took out, that one's been donated to the college. That one's going to get taken apart and used as a learning resource, but I do have a spare one at home, so if that's something you're interested in, do reach out. So yeah, let's have a look at the to-do list, and then I'll just do a little breakdown of what's left to do and what I'm going to get done today. So here's all the things which are left to do. We're going to make a new slightly bigger shifter plate so we can have 4 mounting points for that. It's solid with 2, but I'd feel better if there was 4. I'm not going to do that today. We'll do that when we get back. Got the clutch line done the other day. We've put in the 4th mounting point. Those will get turned into captivated nuts, the 2 that we've done. Once the welding and everything is done, then we'll do the flywheel, clutch, bush, shifter gate earth, and next time that the box goes in, because that needs a bit of thinking. While welding, oh no, that's what we were going to do if Joe was welding while we were here, but we still need to clean and paint the box. Welding, obviously. Struggling with the Atessa line. I did go to my normal go-to hydraulics shop and they couldn't help, so found somewhere else. JF, who did the project before, thought that I might be able to rejig some of the hard lines, so we'll have a look at that today anyway. Some bits to do when we get back which weren't on the original list, but is the handbrake wire, because obviously that was in the pedal region, that now needs to go to the handbrake lever. We knew what we discussed in the first episode was, or the first part to this one, was the park/neutral signal and also the reverse. We need this one, otherwise the logic of the ECU, IPDM and stuff won't let you start unless it's got this signal. And there is a neutral switch on the gearbox, so I'm intending to kind of spoof what the car needs with that. And then the reverse, which we've already discussed, we're going to have to tap in, I think, between the TCM and the ECU to do that. Also, ECUs, I'm going to do that straight away. I'm just going to unplug ECUs because we've got some welding happening, and although the ground's disconnected anyway, I just feel a lot happier if that was all undone. So I'm going to lift the car back up, show Rue what it looks like underneath from when it's up on the ramps, and just crack on and do some little bits and little tidying jobs. Right, I think that kind of wraps it up for today. I've got all the ECU and stuff unplugged. I've been tidying up the workshop, got a pile of parts ready to take home, been putting tools away. I've kind of moved stuff into a corner so it's out the way of the people who use it every day. Sorry Rhys for commandeering it over the last couple of weeks, so thank you for putting up with us. Really big thank you to everyone that's been so supportive along the way, all the comments on Insta and Facebook and comments on YouTube and things like that. I'm glad that people have been enjoying it. So this is going to be the end for a couple of weeks. You know what we got to do, we got to weld it. I've been through the to-do list, so that's what we'll be picking up. I'll aim to get this one edited and uploaded today, and then yeah, expect to be back in about a week and a half. Harvey will be free again then as well, and then we'll crack on and get it all finished. I guess the one benefit of all of this is I might be able to get that front prop shaft made in time. And I've got a bit of time to sort out that Atessa hose as well, so it might actually be all-wheel drive when it leaves, which I didn't think it was going to be. So the fact that we're a little bit delayed, that's fine. We have got the sexy new J-Elly, which I'm still being secretive on. Unfortunately, my tyres didn't get delivered today, so we'll probably be popping in at some point next week to sort those out when they arrive, and I'll be making a little video on that as well. So again, as ever, if you haven't already, please subscribe. If you've liked the video, give it a like. Any comments, questions or queries, drop them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks a lot everyone, I'll see you soon.